Anger is something that we looked at occasionally, something that happened when people caused it, situation caused it. But today, with the work from home situation, when all the boundaries are melting, we understand that everyone is busy and we require to share space. But no matter what we do, we just feel triggered. Hi there, welcome to Absolutely Right, the very first graphology based podcast show in India. My name is Aditi Surana. I'm a graphologist, a high performance coach, and an anti anxiety expert. Every Friday, we talk about one topic that is bothering you in a way you feel challenged and find ways to solve it. Today's topic is anger management. Anger is something that we looked at occasionally, something that happened when people caused it, situation caused it. But today, with the work from home situation, when all the boundaries are melting, we feel more irritated than ever before. The anger is turning into resentment. We understand that everyone is busy and we require to share space. But no matter what we do, we just feel triggered. Now, anger is looked at as this burning coal that you're holding on in your hand, and no matter who handed it to you, you are burning yourself. Now, it's easier said than done when someone says, oh, then drop the burning coal. If it would have been that easy, we would have done it by now. But it is not that easy, and that's why we are having this conversation. Now, on our episodes, we do two things. One, I give you some handwriting strokes that you can look at and check in your own handwriting to see if anger is truly a problem or not. Second, the very effective Grapho-Journaling technique where you use handwritten journaling and a graphotherapy stroke to help yourself. The first trait that talks about anger is intense pressure. If you write with a ballpoint pen on a notebook, then the pressure that your pen leaves on pages behind your writing page is called pressure. If it goes to the next page, then that's okay. That's called normal heavy pressure. But if it goes on page 3, page 4, page 5, then that is a sign of intense pressure in your writing. That shows pent-up anger, something that people hold on to for a very, very long time. Another sign is the extreme angularity in your writing. Have you seen Donald Trump's signature? It is full of angular formation, and his behavior is evident of how angry people behave. Now, both these traits are clear sign that you have anger as a concern. I don't think dealing with anger or resentment was my strongest suit. Until I met Frida. That one conversation with her changed my outlook about this subject, about this area completely. I refer to this particular session as the best session of my life, and you'll know why I say that. Frida was going through chemotherapy. I still remember walking into Frida's room, seeing her for the first time. The cancer patients, they go through certain kind of emotional, physical trauma. Her skin had become dark. She was so exhausted and pale. Her eyes were tired. But somehow she gathered energy to talk to me. She was curious and she really wanted me to talk about things that can help her. I could see the desperation in her movement. When she started writing, she struggled to finish the page, but she was determined. So she went through the process and completed the page and handed it over to me. When I looked at her writing, I didn't know where to begin because the situation was really, really tough. She was going through multiple mental challenges in that moment. But I tried my level best to make her feel comfortable. I kept the conversation light. We spoke about things here and there. And in coaching, you have to get the entry for the other person to open up. So I kept knocking multiple doors. And for first 20 minutes, I did not get any entry in the conversation. Finally, I asked her, how long will you hold on to the anger that you have for other people? And I didn't know what I was opening because I saw certain strokes of resentment in her writing, and I knew that was like the most important, most ailing area of her mental makeup that time. I walked into the conversation without knowing where we were going with it, but that was the powerful part of it. That's how graphology helps you to know the person in moments, and then you can plan the conversation at a deeper level. I followed my instinct. I followed all the years of experience to just be there, fully available, because I knew something really, really big was opening. Frida narrated a story of her sister who she trusted blindly and then felt let down. At least in her version of the story, she felt cheated. And this episode happened 23 years ago. From that day till date, Frida could not forgive her sister. She held on to that feeling no matter what happened, no matter how many times the sister came and apologized to her. She did not forgive her. She couldn't have because she was so angry. As Frida started talking about this experience, I could see that till date she was reliving those moments over and over again. I could see the anger in her eyes, I could see the resentment and all that grit with which she wanted to take revenge. I asked Frida, at this point in time, when you know that life can be really, really difficult for you, how long you're going to hold on to your anger? She paused. She thought about the situation. She looked at me and said, Aditi, all I want to do is die peacefully. I'm done actually. I'm exhausted. I could tell that whatever she said was true. She really, really meant every word of it. We spoke about this incident. We spoke about what all she can do to change her perspective. But I knew that that desire to drop the burning coal was there in her heart. She understood the futility of holding on to her past memories and reliving that moment over and over again. But talking about it and conveying that emotion with as much honesty really, really helped Frida. I asked this question to Frida, and I know this is our journaling question of the day. I asked her, what is the cost of holding on to your past memories right now? Obviously, the cost was her ailing body, the cancer treatment that she was going through, every day living in this mental trap which did not allow her to enjoy anything and be grateful for things that were happening around her. As she started seeing that cost, slowly and steadily her perspective started moving. It melted my heart just to see that transformation happen. In just half an hour, we were talking about things which were happening amazing in her life. When she took the count of the cost she was paying to deal with her anger or not forgive people, she realized that it was not worth it. That one conversation transformed the way I looked at anger and resentment forever. Every time I held on to my anger after that, I asked myself this question: what is the cost I'm willing to pay to hold on to that memory of that anger? I don't know whether Frida completely forgave her sister or not, but I knew dropping her burning coal and looking at the brighter side definitely brought a lot of peace to her mind and her heart in that conversation. Ask yourself this question: how many times we walk away from situations and relationships only because we have one incident, one memory, one moment of anger where you or the other person was absolutely wrong? What is the cost of that one moment? Think about it. On the Absolutely Right podcast, I talk about a specific journaling method where you not only ask a question, which is solution oriented, but also use a beautiful graphotherapy stroke called Kama Sutra S-stroke practice. So this process is a 3-step process. You start by asking the question I just asked you, repeat the question to yourself. Step 2, take out time to do the S-stroke practice. Make sure that you learn this stroke carefully. The instruction video is mentioned in the description box. And stage 3, set a timer for 15 minutes and write everything that comes to your mind. Make sure you do not censor any information, do not edit anything. Just let your body, like your hand, move with every single thought that comes to your mind. Today's question, by the way, is a loaded one. It may bring in lot of anger, lot of energy. So let all of that come on the paper. Do not stop yourself, because if you do that, that whole building up mechanism won't get diffused. So please don't do it. Allow journaling method to help you help yourself. I'll see you on Wednesday with one more episode of the Absolutely Right podcast. Till then, happy writing.